All right, let's dive into a really simple but powerful story. It's about a boy who decides to chase an impossible dream. Literally, to chase the sun itself. But as you'll see, what he finds along the way is so much more illuminating than the destination he was so obsessed with. So, let me ask you something right off the bat, and this is really the core of the whole story. What if that big goal you're so focused on, the one you're pouring all your time and energy into, what if that isn't actually the real prize? Just kind of let that question sit with you as we follow our hero, Luca, on his journey.
Okay, so our story begins where so many great quests do, with a dream. A really big one. The dream of the horizon.
So, let's meet our guy, Luca. He lives in this really peaceful village called Solera, a place where life pretty much revolves around the sun. For everyone else, the sun means warmth. It means their crops will grow. It's practical. But for Luca, no. For him, the sun was something else entirely. It felt like a promise of adventure, of a huge world just waiting for him beyond the hills. And this fascination, it just grew and grew until it became this all-consuming dream. He was going to follow the sun across the entire world and find out where it goes to rest.
As Luca gets ready to leave, his mother gives him this piece of advice, and it's something that's going to stick with him through this whole thing. It's a simple but really potent warning. Don't get so focused on your goal that you become blind to everything else you're passing through.
And with that, he's gone. He's off, chasing that distant light, heading right for the horizon.
The beginning of the journey is just pure excitement. He sets off right at dawn, totally full of hope. For weeks, it's this grand adventure. He's crossing through these incredible landscapes, meeting all sorts of interesting people, and he's collecting their stories. Every new person he meets, every new place he sees, it just adds fuel to the fire. It makes him want to keep going. But, well, no great quest is ever that easy, right? And pretty soon, the very same sun that was guiding Luca, it starts to burn.
And this is really where we see the big turning point. The sun, which started out as his comforting guide, his companion, it becomes this relentless, just punishing force. That beacon of adventure is now just a constant reminder of a goal he can't seem to reach, beating down on him as he struggles through harsh deserts and up these steep, unforgiving mountains.
The journey just grinds him down, physically and mentally. His body aches, his feet are sore, and then, finally, after this one particularly awful day in a totally barren desert, he just collapses. It's a moment of complete and utter exhaustion. He's defeated, and he just lays there watching the sunset, once again, just out of his grasp. But it's right here, at his absolute lowest point, that everything is about to change. He's about to have a life-changing epiphany as the sun goes down.
In his own mind, it was over. He'd given absolutely everything he had to this one singular goal, and it was impossible. He had failed. Period.
But right in that moment of surrender, something shifts. He stops obsessing over the destination he couldn't reach, and for what feels like the first time, he actually sees the world around him. He just looks up. And as he watches the sky just explode with color, it hits him. The real beauty of the sun was never about catching it. It was about the incredible journey the chase inspired. The goal was never the real prize. The adventure, that was the prize.
This realization changes absolutely everything. With a totally new perspective on the world, Luca starts the final part of his adventure, the journey home.
So Luca's whole purpose is now completely redefined. He's not chasing an endpoint anymore. Instead, he decides he's going to let the sun guide him, but this time as a companion on the journey of life, celebrating the adventure itself instead of chasing something he can never catch.
So what does this new philosophy actually look like? Well, you can kind of break it down into 4 simple steps. First, stop chasing a fixed destination. Second, learn to embrace the journey itself, with all its ups and downs. Third, let your inspiration be a guide, not a goal to be conquered. And finally, and this one is so important, share the lessons you've picked up along the way.
And so Luca finally makes it back to Solera. He shows up without the prize he set out for. He never caught the sun. But what he brings back is infinitely more valuable. All the stories, all the lessons, and this profound new wisdom that the real treasure was in the experiences he had all along the way. And that brings us right back to that question from the beginning. We all have a sun we're chasing, right? A big goal. But Luca's story asks us to really think about it. What is your journey teaching you right now? Maybe the real prize isn't waiting for you at some finish line, but it's hidden in plain sight all along the path you're on at this very moment.